Okay, we're live now, Chairman.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining National Area Committee meeting tonight. My name is Councillor Mohammed Saqib, and I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. Jen, can I have apologies first, please?
I've just got apologies from Councillor Kathleen Shaw.
Right. And can you see everyone logged in so that we can take that as attending the meeting, or do you want to go through the name list, the attendance sheet?
I think if we go through the attendance sheet, because some members might appear at the last minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Chairman, can I just give apologies for Councillor Councillor Julie Henderson, and Councillor Ashad Mahmood will be 20 minutes late. He's just finished work.
Yeah.
Jen, do you want to call their names out, please, if you don't mind?
Okay. Councillor Adam.
Here.
Councillor Ahmed.
Present.
Councillor Ali.
Present.
Councillor Amma.
Present.
Councillor Ansar.
Present.
Councillor Aslam.
Present.
Councillor Cooney.
Present.
Councillor McGowan.
Present.
Councillor Saqib.
Present.
Councillor Tennant.
Present.
And Councillor Wicks. I can see Councillor Wicks.
Jane, am I having the night off?
Yeah. Did I say present?
Oh, sorry.
That's
Councillor Iqbal as well. I missed him.
I'm here.
Yeah, we see you. Right, thank you very much for that. First item on the agenda we've got is declaration of interest. Anybody? No, I'll take that silence as nobody have any interest in any of the items on the agenda. Public question time. I believe we don't have any member of the public speak, do we, Jane?
No, we've no questions tonight. Nobody speaking on any items.
That's fine. Minutes of the last meeting.
Welcome, Chair.
I'll second
Is
it.
everyone happy with that? Right, thank you. Is everyone happy with that course of action? I'll take that as yes. Item 4, progress report.
Okay.
Just 1 second. With progress report, there is a second item, reopening of the high street, but I think we're going to discuss that later on anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Move it. I believe we don't have any police officer with us Jane, today. Am I right to say that?
No, we do. Holly May Pinder was here.
I am here. I don't know how to work the camera.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hello. Can you see me now? I don't know if it's working.
Yeah.
Hi. You know where you. Yeah.
Go on, Holly. It's all yours.
Sorry about that. Hiya, everyone. Apologies because PC Bolton can't be present. However, myself, PCSO Holly and PCSO Donna are here. Firstly, I want to address some concerns we've been made aware of over the past week or so. Wolverton Park, 1, drug dealing and social behaviour occurring in the park. We have, as a naval team, have stepped up patrols in the park, in particular foot patrol. However, antisocial behaviour and drug dealing, it does need reporting. Otherwise, we're not going to be aware that it's going on and what time it's going on. Yeah, it's all good as predicting when to be in the park. but it's much better if people report it so we know when to be there. Things like descriptions, registrations of vehicles pulling up, any names, times, days, that'd be great. As well as that, Marsden Park Bowling Green was flagged up. We have been patrolling it a lot more regular. However, we've been quite unlucky with time and just missing out on the youths causing the problems and causing the damage. A couple of residents have got my contact details now. So when the youths turn up causing problems, they've got my number to give me a call, a direct call, for me to come and have a look. Another issue raised by members of the community, myself and multiple other agencies, is untaxed vehicles, vehicles with no MOT, vehicles that are sewn and still driving or on the roads, vehicles with illegal number plates. I myself have been in contact with the DVLA through a liaison, and it has been positive. So we are in the process of planning an operation, a joint operation between myself, Naval Team and the DVLA to come out in Nelson and target said vehicles around Nelson, which hopefully will be really successful. In particular as well, we will address the garages like Lonsdale Street, Wenning Street, etc., which I know are causing some issues for a number of residents and probably yourselves. And social behaviour driving clock. I think Lorna's mentioned last time she was on the committee meeting. She has explained this week there was a meeting to discuss the next steps, which is more the action side of things rather than the planning, because all the planning is done and analysing, which you should hopefully update you on the next committee meeting with some progress. Myself and Donna's littering pot. We are in the process of arranging a meeting with different members of, say, Pendle Borough Council, etc. The community protection officer is going to help us do that, so we can have like a competition for younger kids in schools to get involved with designing bins, like monster bins to put into parks, take a bit of responsibility and ownership for the issue. And then hopefully, as the COVID rules are, easing, we should begin our action days soon. Like I say, we'll like to involve cadets, members of the community, volunteer themselves, and it'll involve the agency. Is there any questions or anything people would like me to look into?
Jane?
Chairman, could I just ask people to mute? There's an awful lot of background noise and it's been interfering with what Holly's been saying. If that's okay, thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
Yes, I just didn't know. Did everyone get everything that I said? I know I can talk fast. Anyone here? Hello?
Yeah, that's fine. Go on, Andy.
Yeah, I was just seeing if anybody had any questions on anything that I've mentioned, or if there is anything in particular problems that you'd like to raise and for me to look into. No?
Councillors? No, there seems like everyone is happy.
That's a good result.
Yeah.
We have, as PCSOs, we have been given specific maybe wards for us to target. So I, at the minute, and Donna have Marsden, Southfield, Wolverton and Clover Hill wards, which we've been targeting on foot and the problems around. Donna is unfortunately moving to Briarfield, so we will be getting another PCSO to help me with the 4 wards. PCSO Shack, I think you've met him before. He's covering mainly Whitefield. We are helping each other out, but there's a bit of priorities between ourselves. Has everyone got contact details for each PCSO?
Jane, can you circulate that once again? I know you did circulate in the past, just
Yes,
in
I
case
can.
if some.
Yeah, I can recirculate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody raising hands, so I do appreciate Ali that you came and you joined the meeting and you given us update. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
I'm
very
sure yeah, we don't have issues, especially in the next month and a half we have before the election time, because this is the time when residents get active as well. So hopefully everything will be nice and quiet. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to planning applications, agenda item 6. First item, we've got the first application we've got in front of us is for the erection of single-story extension to accommodate 2 additional classrooms, 12 facilities and car parking at Castercliff Primary Academy, Nelson. It is down for approval. So who would like to take lead on this? Move, councillors.
Councillor Osram is all in favour and agrees with the planning officer's recommendation. So I'll move it as a pass.
Councillor Nadeem Ahmed, I see you raise your hand.
Just a question at this stage, please. From the last meeting, from what I can remember, there was going to be a meeting with, I think, the ward councillors and perhaps yourself and the school. Just wanted to know whether that meeting's taken place, and if so, what was the outcome?
Jane, do you wanna give us any update?
I arranged the meeting. The meeting has been held, but I wasn't present at the meeting. Maybe ward councillors could contribute, but I wasn't there.
Chairman, can I help?
Councillor Iqbal, can you help us here?
Yeah, Chairman, I arranged via Jane the meeting with both ward councillors. Councillor Tommy Curry unfortunately couldn't attend, I understand, due to work, but Councillor Neil McGowan was present, along with the cabinet member from the county, Keith Idden. We had county officers, the school reps, and also the 2 residents that were elected as their spokespeople. It was quite a productive meeting, I felt, where residents got their points across, both current and historic, directly to the county council and also to the school. And the outcomes were predominantly that in terms of the school liaison with the residents, there was a direct link to establish, which hopefully will deal with any issues that arise. There was a discussion around a public space protection order being put in place by this council. So I contacted Tim Hosley after that particular meeting, as it was a point of action for me to ask Tim to look into that. Tim sent me an email back a few days ago where he says that the county council don't really have an appetite to support a PSPO. Now, that's contrary to what we were told at the meeting. Neil McGowan will no doubt confirm that. But the appetite from the county was that they would support a PSPO. So I've asked him to proceed with a public space protection order to deal with some of the long-term issues. But in terms of the application, I mean, we're dealing with it purely on planning grounds. So I'm happy to support that we approve the application as set out, because some of the issues that have been raised were peripheral issues, which hopefully will be dealt with outside of the planning application. But overall, Chairman, it was a quite productive meeting, I feel.
Councillor Nadeem Ahmed, do you want to come back in?
I will, yes. Yeah. As long as I think there's been some constructive discussions, which it sounds like have taken place, and it wasn't really purely a decision where Nelson Area Committee could control some of the issues which were raised. I'm quite satisfied just on purely the planning grounds to go along with the recommendation.
You're on mute, Saqib.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. We've got a proposer. Councillor Aslam proposed it, that we approve it,
Chairman,
and yourself. I don't see anybody.
Tommy
I'm
Cooney,
sorry, I don't see anybody's hand up. Jane, please help me. I don't see anybody's hand up, so.
Okay, you've
got
got
mine.
Councillor Cooney and then Councillor McGowan have got the hands up.
Councillor Cooney first, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's just a quick couple of points, really. I concur. I believe the feedback I've had from the meeting, which I couldn't attend, was quite positive and quite a constructive meeting, all in all, which was good. Just a couple of things around. Maybe it's one for planning officer around the conditions. It's currently got a condition between 9 AM and 2:30. I'm just thinking, in terms of vehicles arriving and leaving, it takes a bit of while for the traffic to clear, and traffic does gather, reasonably early around the schools as well. So I'm just wondering, one, whether that couldn't be put to 9:30 and 2, just to try and help any sort of vehicles that will be coming early, etc., and creating problems. And secondly, and it may well not really apply to this development, but there has been some instances where there's been night work, maintenance work taking place in the school. Recently, I think Councillor McGowan was dealing with that one. I just wonder whether we couldn't put a condition on that there would be no night working on the development. It's maybe one for Alex, maybe it's a couple of minor issues, but apart from that, I think I'm all okay.
Before I bring Councillor McGowan in, can I ask Alex to give us some guidelines on this?
If councillors were minded to alter that condition to those hours, I don't think we would have an issue with that. In terms of the working hours, that's something that's included within within condition 5. So we would agree details of working hours through that anyway.
Thanks, Alex. Would your condition that there would be no night working, would that be part of the condition when you get into that detail?
It would generally be the case, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Councillor McGowan?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Councillor Aslan was saying. Sorry, Matt. Councillor Iqbal. Yeah, everybody was on board with the public space protection order, including the school. In regards to Tim's response, I'm a bit puzzled with that one, because as Councillor Iqbal said, the Lancashire County Council didn't really seem to see a problem with that. They seemed to think it was something that we could look into and maybe work on in the future. Basically, the other points have been covered by Councillor Cooney. Thank you.
All right. Jen, can we go to vote, please? Can you call the names out? Obviously, we've got only one proposal, that is to approve the application.
Could I just ask then if there's anybody who's against the proposal? Do we need to do a vote? If nobody's against it, then we can just go that it's approved, unless anybody tells me otherwise.
Jane, just clarify, are we all, councillors, are we okay to include the 9:30 to 2 PM condition, just so I'm clear on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so we take that's approved.
We've got front of us, it's the change of use of ground floor from residential dwelling to a shop, and insertion of shop. It's a resubmission. I see Councillor Iqbal's hand up. Councillor Iqbal.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. I mean, in terms of this application, I remember this particular property when it used to be the newsagents, and when I used to come home from Primmett, take the scenic route, you used to go to the newsagents to get your sweets. It's a long time ago, but clearly I remember it as the former newsagents. Then it changed into a residential dwelling. And I think it's commendable, Chairman, that a local business want to expand their business, because over the last 12 months, we've seen, due to COVID, a significant number of businesses go to the wall the next few months is crucial as well, with the furlough scheme ending. A significant number of businesses, I have some serious worries, will also suffer. But this particular business clearly is doing well, to the extent that that's why they want to expand the business where they are and move the butchers across the road. So you've still got that neighbourhood feel. And I know the report talks about exemptions to the policy, which say that, you know, normally we have this policy 25, which the council has, but there is a provision of small-scale retail use for people to meet the daily needs. And I think this particular application addresses that quite nicely, because you've got a meat butcher's shop already there. You've then got a grocery shop there. And basically, the grocery shop is wanting to expand. The meat shop, rather than relocating the town centre, causing significant issues for the local population, is willing to move across the road to this particular premises. So I think this is an exciting development for that part of Bradley. It gives that neighbourhood feel. There are a number of other shops in the vicinity. And I would commend that we support this application, Mr. Chairman, and support it wholeheartedly. I've just had a text from Councillor Eileen Ansell, I think is ringing in via phone, that she wants to speak. So I don't know whether you want to bring her in next, Mr. Chairman.
I'll write her name down and she'll speak when it's her turn. Councillor Cooney is next. Councillor Cooney. Councillor Cooney, you've got your hand raised, so I'm asking you to come in.
Sorry, Chairman, it's an old hand. I'll take it down.
Okay.
Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Nadeem Ahmed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'll be supporting approving this application. In that area, there's already a number of commercial properties and mixed-use properties which serve the local area's needs. And I think it's important that we do allow new businesses or existing businesses to expand in areas where the local people rely on them services. And in terms of the policy where there's a requirement for businesses to relocate within the town centre, this issue came regarding another application which was on, I think it was Railway Street, a number of months ago. And this point was highlighted and discussed in detail at that stage. And clearly in that report, it did say where there's a specific need for the local community, that should count as an exception rather than the rule. And this should be within the exception and be allowed to open this business. And when we've got properties which could be used for better purposes within the area, I think we should be supporting that and supporting local businesses. So I will be moving that we approve this, or supporting it, shall I say, that we approve this application. Thank you.
Chairman, I'm also supporting, and I can't.
Yeah, you have to wait your turn. You have to wait your turn.
Mr. Aslam, you gotta wait. Come on, you should know it better. It's been 2 years you've been councillor. Can I ask Alex to come in?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. This application, I understand the argument about it serving a local need. However, the intention of that policy is for locations that are quite distant from town or local centres that don't have any retail uses that serve those needs at the moment. At the moment, there are already retail units in that immediate area that serve local needs. It is within relatively close proximity of the town centre, and so a new retail unit there that could be located within the town centre, that quite clearly are units that could accommodate it, would have an unacceptable impact on the vitality of the town centre. And that will be a significant departure from policy and something that would need to be referred to Policy and Resources Committee.
Councillor Aslam, do you want to come in now?
Yes, there is a need. I'm fully supporting the application and seconding Iqbal as well. There is a demand, and I say, I'm requesting the planning officer to change his mind and not take it to the policy committee. And there is a need for it, and I think we should let it go. And all the councillors from the ward, they're all in favour. And I leave it with your hands, Chairman, as well.
I can't see Councillor Zafar's hand up, but I believe he did raise his hand. Councillor Zafar, do you want to speak?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, my hand is up. Thank
I'd
you very
like
much.
to know where I am on your list, please.
Chairman, can you hear me?
Councillor Zafar, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I've noted the comments that Alex has made. I personally have taken a stroll around the ward and tried to look at possibilities of alternative retail sites that are in comparison to the one here that's being made by the applicant. I'm perfectly happy to support the application, given the various different amendments that the applicant has taken the time and effort to try and address policy. I don't have any particular issues. Of course, the highways section is also an important one, which also raises no concerns. And I'd urge colleagues to support the application. Obviously, it's in Alex's hands, and he's at liberty to decide whether or not it goes to policy and resources. But in terms of the other alternative retail sites in comparison to size with the applicant's premises, I'm not aware of any such sites, and I don't know if maybe Alex could enlighten me on that. Thank you, Chairman.
We've got a proposer and we've got a seconder, and I don't think
Chairman,
I need to bring.
Chairman, you've got Eileen Ansar waiting to speak.
Councillor Eileen Ansar, sorry, my apologies.
I should think
Go
so
on.
as well, Sakib. Yeah, I agree with everything that everybody said, but there's a couple of disagreements I have, and that's one with Alex. Firstly, the fact that he's saying it's relocating out of the town centre. The business is already existing in that location. It isn't a new business coming into the centre. It's a new business coming in onto Newport Street. The business is already there. It is serving the community. They need to expand because they haven't got the room to function in the capability that they are doing now. So I can't understand why we have to take it to the Resource and Development Committee. Number two is there is no suitable shops in that area at all. And in Nelson Town Centre, there is no empty shop premises at all. Everything is done. We have situations in Nelson Town Centre now where the market hall is completely closing down. You've got the bazaar next door, completely closed down. You've got issues with Pendle Rise, which is no trader in this right mind or on this earth would want to go into that building. And there is no other shops at all. I just cannot understand why this has to go to what used to be DC. It isn't actually something that is coming new. It isn't. It is a business that is existing, that is trying to expand into their own property across the road with no objections from anything or anybody. It will serve the purpose to a great advantage because it is keeping people more socially distanced for a start, which has got to be a good thing with the circumstances that we're in. And I just can't understand where the argument is to send it there. So I would like some answers to that one, please.
Thank you very much, Eileen. I see everyone is in support of this application. I see Councillor Iqbal's hand up and Councillor Nadeem Ahmed's hand up. You have both spoken and you are both in favor of the application. I don't think you can add anything more to that. So if you don't mind, I'll just go to vote.
Could I have an
Chairman,
explanation from Alex, please?
Chairman, we do have something to add as well.
Alex, do you want to reply to Eileen's comments?
Yes,
And-
the issue isn't that it's moving out of the town centre. It's that it's a new retail unit outside of the town centre, and that's something that is contrary to policy, because new retail units should be located within the town centre. Although I understand that it is a business that's located there, that's expanding into a new premises. There's no way for us to control within this application that it remains like that. It would just be a new retail unit for planning purposes. So in terms of the planning justification for it, that's not something that we can take into account because we can't control it.
Thank you, Alex. There's Councillor Iqbal. Go on, keep it brief, please.
Chairman, let me just pose a question to Alex, and I respect what Alex says. Obviously, he's the professional officer. Alex, so let's say, for example, where the existing shop is now, if they wanted to expand the shop into a residential property that was next door to them, are we still saying that we'd say no to the expansion? Or would we have a different view there? If you can just help me with that, then I just want to come back quickly, Chairman.
There is an allowance for that. However, like I said, when it's a completely separate unit, so there would be no way for us to link the two.
Okay, Chairman, so just sorry, Alex. Thanks for that. I mean, Chairman, I represented that ward for over 20 years, and on that particular row of shops, you've got the butcher shop. You've got the grocery shop. You've then got two empty shops next door, which are owned by somebody else who were in the process of, we gave planning for them last year. And then you've got a whole host of residential properties. Now, the planning justification by the applicant explains what's going to happen. And I suspect if we had an application at the same time this evening to expand the grocery shop next door and relocate the butcher's shop, then the argument that the applicant is making around local neighbourhood shopping may possibly help. Now, clearly, we're not going to win the argument with Alex, and at the end of the day, Alex is the professional officer, as I keep saying. So, between now and it going to policy committee, Chairman, I would urge the applicant to put in an application to expand their shop into next door, do whatever they need to do, and I think that will help their cause at the policy committee meeting in due course. That will negate this policy 25, in my opinion. But that's an argument and a debate for another day for us to have if we're all re-elected. But this evening, I'd suggest that we go to the vote.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm not going to bring anybody else in. It seems like everyone is in favor of the application. So we've got a proposal that we approve this, and that is from Councillor Iqbal, and Councillor Nadeem Ahmed have seconded it. So can we go to vote, please? All those in favor of approving this application, Jane, do you want to take their names down, or shall we just go as you done it with the last application? That if there is one against the application, then you just need to come forward.
Yeah, I'd suggest doing the same. If there's anybody who doesn't agree with that recommendation, if they can let us know. If not, then we'll proceed.
Right, I'll take that as everyone is in favor of the application for approval. Now, as Alex has said, this will go to Policy and Resources Committee whenever that is taking place next time. So from here, Nelson Area Committee, this application is approved. Right, we move on to the third application on the agenda. That is for 181 Regent Street, and that's erection of side and rear two-story extension. It is in Bradley Ward, so I'll ask Councillor Iqbal. I'll see his hand up if he wants to take the lead. Yeah, go on, Councillor Iqbal.
Chairman, before I mean, we can have a very short debate on this, but is Alex likely to come in and give us some good news or bad news? Can I just ask Alex that question first before then I decide which way to go with this?
Yes, Alex, before I bring you in, I do have a picture of the property behind it. I'm not sure I'll be able to show you guys or not for just 1 second. Right, I don't know whether you can see it or not. Sorry, my system is not as clever as Jane's. This is the, you should be able to see a fence and then the property behind this property and maybe 10 foot, 8 foot a gap between the property and the neighboring fence. So I'll let Alex comment. Okay, Alex, please.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yes, this application would impact on the residential amenity of both the adjoining property and the property to the rear of it that has windows facing within close proximity that would be there would be a loss of privacy to. The two-storey extension at the back would project 4.5 metres from the rear elevation of the adjoining house and impact on habitable room windows to the rear of that. And so it's something that would be a significant departure from policy and would be referred to Policy and Resources Committee.
Alex, the bearer of bad news as usual for the second time tonight. But Chairman, through you, can I just ask Alex a question, please? So, Alex, what's the size of this that wouldn't take it to Policy and Resources? Because I'm reading the report, and I know we talk about a minimum distance of 12 metres, which is like 30 odd foot, or a 21 metre separation, which is like 60 foot, which is, I mean, you'd have to live in a mansion to have those type of things. My understanding is that it's about just short of 8 metres, which is about 20 odd foot of a distance, which is quite a significant distance. So what would it need to bring it back into scope for us to make the decision?
I think it's complex. I think that we would need to look at it. I don't think it's something I can give a simple answer to, because there are various issues with it in terms of the Design Principles SPD. That requires that there's a 12-metre distance between a habitable room window and a two-storey elevation. And I think it's going to be difficult to accommodate that within the spacing between that property and the bungalow to the rear. So it may be that it's not going to be possible to accommodate a two-storey extension there, although a single-storey extension of 4 metres might be acceptable.
Okay, I mean, in terms of engineering and planning, I don't think there's anything that's impossible with you guys. You know, if the will's there, there's a way. So, Chairman, can I move that we delegate grant consent of this to the planning manager in consultation with the chairman, subject to amended plans and agreement being achieved? And if that doesn't happen, then obviously it comes back to the next committee. But I'm with every confidence in you and Alex as the brains of this committee, getting it sat down and hopefully finding a resolution. I mean, if you can't find a resolution, you can't find a resolution. But my view is that we delegate grant consent, and hopefully that will be supported by the committee. And then if you can find a compromise, you found a compromise, and there's no need for them to wait 2 months. So I'll move that, Chairman.
Councillor Nadeem Ahmed has raised his hand, I think.
Yeah, I'm just going to be very brief and just, say that's fine. I'll second that, Chairman.
Yeah, that's fine, is that. So we've got a proposal that we grant consent this application basically to planning manager and the chairperson to come to some sort of agreement between the owner and the planning officers. All those in favour of that proposal, can we, if you're not in favour, can you just speak, please? We'll take that as everyone is happy with the proposal that the owner need to sit with the planning officers to discuss if there is a way forward, and they both can be agreed to some satisfaction of the council, and then it will not go any further. Otherwise, if that is not achieved, it will come back to us maybe the next time we have the meeting. So that is approved. 6B, appeals. Just one second. Let me
6B and 7.
6B and 7. Anybody have any objection to that proposal that we just noted? No. Then we move on to item 8, capital program. I believe we have 4 bids in hand, and I see Councillor Iqbal's hand up. Councillor Iqbal, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. In terms of the bids, obviously, Councillor Kathleen Shaw's utilising her ward initiative money, and that application's in, so I'm moving that we approve that. In terms of the remaining money in the capital programme, Chairman, you will recall that we allocated money last July to do some capital works to various wards. My understanding was that it was agreed that it would go in partnership with the Town Council. That didn't happen, so I'm moving that we approve the capital works bid that goes to the Town Council immediately, so they can continue with the good work that they're doing with this area committee. In terms of the third one, Mr. Chairman, obviously we've allocated water initiative money over a number of years, and this year clearly has been unique, where a lot of us haven't spent our money. I'm going to speak on in terms of the Labour councillors who have got money, and obviously Councillor Tommy Cooney and Neil McGowan have got theirs left. I'm not sure what they want to do this because I can't see any bids. But in terms of the Labour councillors' water initiative money, Chairman, I'm moving that we allocate a capital bid to one of our vital food banks in the town, the Nelson Community Mosque One, who have been doing some fantastic work over the last 12 months. And I'm going to move that we allocate the sum allocated in the bid programme there to that particular charity. And then in terms of the final one, Chairman, I know you over the last 12 months have been campaigning to try and deal with some of the unlit areas within our ward, and you've identified a pot of money which I'm happy to move on behalf of the Labour group towards a street light on the gable end of Regent Place or Regent Street, which I will liaise with the officers in due course, or you will, where we looked about the future revenue funding of that particular street, which we will look to use to liaise the Town Council. And then in terms of the community mosque bid, clearly that's for revenue funding. Sorry, no, it's not. It's for capital funding. And we will look to identify the capital bid, which again I will pass on to officers in the morning once I've spoken to the charity. So I move those on blocks, Chairman. Clearly there's £340 left in the ward initiatives, which is Councillor Tommy Cooney's and Neil McGowan's. I'm not sure whether they've put bids in writing to Jane. And if they haven't, that'll just roll over to next year. So I move, Chairman.
I noticed Councillor Asjad's hand going up. I just can't see him. Just one second. Yeah, his hand is up. And I've got a Julie Whitaker's hand up as well. Just one second, please. Can I ask Julie to come in first, please?
Yeah, it was just in relation to the food bank one. I mean, obviously, as it stands at the moment, food for that would be classed as revenue. But if it was some item, which I think Councillor Iqbal was talking about, some sort of capital expenditure, so if it was something like fridges or other equipment that was required by the food bank, that would be eligible. But I just wanted to clarify that.
Councillor Iqbal, did you get that?
I did, and I'll relay that to officers. Sorry, I've just opened my fast, so I've got a date in my mouth.
That's fine. Councillor Asjad, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I was just going to echo everything that's Councillor Iqbal's mentioned earlier. Yeah, I'll happily second the motion on the table.
Anybody else wants to come in? Can we go to vote then, please? If everyone is happy with that, then please stay quiet. Otherwise, now is the time to speak. That's fine, is that? Thank you, everyone. Item 9, traffic liaison meeting. Councillor Iqbal, can I ask you to come in, please, with regard to that?
Yeah, Chairman, this is normally just for noting, but I must draw your attention. I've already lodged a protest with the County Council, but I think it's important, Chairman, just to highlight a couple of things that affect this area committee. on page 6, item 5.1, that talks about Victory Close, Chairman, you and I met with County Councillor Keith Hidden nearly 3 years ago about residence parking, and we were promised that it would be in place. So when it's finally come to fruition, the County Council have now stuck the two-finger salute up to residents on Victory Close. So I've expressed my extreme unhappiness on your behalf and my behalf in terms of what's gone on, and I've been assured that we'll review that. Likewise, on page 7, item 7.1, Longmire Road, Nelson, I've been working closely with Ashad as the ward councillor, and I'm sure Nadim's aware of this as well, where the lines faded at the top end a number of years ago. Residents have been parking sensibly, and for some bizarre reason, the county council about 3 months ago have come back and said, well, they want to put double yellow lines down. Now, I've repeatedly worked with officers at county to ask for a face-to-face, not a face-to-face meeting, a virtual meeting with the two residents who have led the campaign, but have been refused. So again, on behalf of this area committee, I've lodged an objection to the county council, and I've basically told them that I and Ashad stand shoulder to shoulder with the residents on Longmire Road, because where else are they going to park? There's nowhere else for them to park. So I just wanted to register those process, Chairman, and then after that, just note the meeting. Note the minutes.
Thank you, Iqbal. Anybody else wants to come in? No, that's fine. Thank you.
You've got Ashad. You've got Ashad.
Sorry, I was trying to see actually. But Councillor Asjad, do you want to come in? Councillor Asjad? He must not be with us. He must not be with us. Okay, we'll move on then. Item 10. Residents only parking scheme at Holly Street, Nelson. This is, I believe, in Southfield. Well, it's straightforward. I can do it from the chair. On the 4th of January 2021 of the Nelson Area Committee meeting, it resolved that further evidence is gathered just to see if there are any issues with the traffic or parking there. Officers have gone back and they checked it out, and there doesn't seem to be any issues. Nobody's complained, no parking tickets been issued, so it is recommended that no further action is taken. I'm quite happy with that. If any of the ward councillors want to speak, now is the time. No, we just noted then. Thank you for that. Item 11, Nelson Town Centre reopening. Can I ask Julie to come in and give us some insight into this, please?
Yes, Chair. Just to let the committee know that since this report was written, we have now been awarded as a council some further money for next financial year, a further 81,000, same as this year. It's not going to be called the Reopening High Street Safely anymore. It's going to be called the Welcome Back Fund. It's going to be similar sort of criteria to the current funding, but also they're going to widen it out to make other activity eligible. So at the moment, there's just temporary works to public realms can be included, but under the new funding, green spaces and seating areas can be included. And they're also extending what can be done with new ideas such as the virtual high streets, which was something that wasn't included under this initial funding. So it's good. It sounds like they've taken on board some of the comments that have been made about it being quite restrictive for the funding. There hasn't been detailed guidance yet, but once that detailed guidance comes out, any funding that's left from this year can also be used for some of those wider activities. So I'm sure that Mike Williams, once he's got the further details, will be able to let the subgroup know, because that could impact on what the group and the committee decide they wish to do about a website, because there are a wider range of things that would be eligible in a website under this new funding. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Zafar Ali or Yvonne, do you want to come in at all?
Yes,
Or
thank you,
have-
Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, it's welcoming news. Thank you for that update, Julie. I think it is really important that we have full and widespread support for this initiative for the virtual high street, as it's been dubbed. I think we need to welcome traders, not only traders, but also customers to a new platform so that we can support businesses. I know the irony of tonight's meeting is the discussions around this business outside of the town centre area. But I think we have to support all businesses throughout the town centre as well as the wider areas of the town as well. But this platform, the vision behind the platform, alongside my colleague Yvonne Tennant and Mr. Emery as well, the idea is obviously to have accessibility, or rather better accessibility for businesses. So it is welcoming news that we've got this additional funding, and I'm hoping councillors can support the initiative to allocate the said funds which have been mentioned in the report. Thank you, Chairman.
Yvonne, do you want to come in?
Yeah, only just to say that sounds like great news, and it sounds like we're going to be able to do a lot more than we were actually planning to do, and I think it's really important. And I just concur with everything that Councillor Ali said.
Thank you for that. Jen, is there anybody else to speak? Or
No, Chairman.
that's fine. That no, it's really good. Good to hear that we've got further funding. I'm sure we'll be able to do a lot more than what we could do with the existing funds. I'm very much sure that Nelson Town Council will be happy to hear that. Well, thank you very much, everyone. This is our last meeting of the 2020-2021 year. So anybody who's up for election, good luck and stay safe. Thank you very much. I'll close the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.